Yaqub is also called Israel. And Yaqub, that is Israel, had 12 children. These are Ikhwat Yusuf alayhi salam. And Bani Israel came up from these 12 children, and each child formed a tribe. That is why in the story of Musa, when he was trying to put the spring, there were 12 of them. These are 12 tribes. He said even when they were crossing the Red Sea, there were 12 paths to go through. Now Israel, who is Yaqub, as we know, is the son of Ishaq. Ishaq, radiallahu anhu, is the son of Ibrahim. So their grandfather of Israel is Ibrahim. And the grandfather of Ismail, his father is Ibrahim. So the Jews and the Arabs came up there as like cousins. I will explain, inshallah, time after talking about the story of Sophia. There's no enmity between a Muslim and somebody from Israel, and they're keeping hatred because the majority of the messages of Allah came from Israel, including Ulul Azm, like Musa alayhi salam, like Isa alayhi salam, is from Israel. The only trouble is the community, just like any other communities, had been so much against Islam, as we are going to show. Maybe some of them is because it was not one of them, but this is also natural. In a lot of cases where you have rivalry of leadership, the ethnicity comes for a lot of people. So whenever we say we should not actually completely talk ill about the whole tribe, but talk ill about some people who have done things not rightly, and that is why Surah Al-Baqarah is full of stories of Bani Israel, how they didn't listen to Nabi Musa alayhi salam, and Surah Al-Imran is full of stories. Surah Al-Baqarah about half of it talks about Bani Israel, and Surah Al-Imran about 1/3 or so is talking about Al-Nasr. So I think from that angle is where we tackle the situation. And what is happening now, of course, with Israel, with Palestine, that is all actually, it makes everybody to be annoyed, and really it is true that they are oppressing our Muslim brothers there. But what I'm saying is that there will be definitely some people who are good from the community, as I'm going to explain. Sophia, after her story is that initially she was married to somebody called Salam bin Mishkam al-Qurbi. And then after that was married by another husband called Kinana ibn Abi al-Haqiq, or Kinana ibn Rabi' ibn al-Haqiq. And then during the Battle of Khaybar, Khaybar was one of the bases of the Bani Israel. Initially, there were 3 tribes in Medina: Banu Qaynuqa, Banu Nadir, and Banu Qurayza. And then after some time, maybe we'll talk at the end of the lecture, they broke the agreement because Rasulullah had agreement with all the people of Medina. One of the big group was the Jews. And the agreement was that they should be protect one another, they should not work against one another, they should not be with the enemy of one another, and all that. But somehow, as I said, if we have time, we will show how Banu Qaynuqa had to be expelled from Medina, how Banu Nadir had to be expelled, and Banu Qurayza, and all the 3 tribes were breaking the promises and the agreement which they had with the Muslims. So the base of Khaybar became bigger. There were more Jews in Khaybar. In the 7th year after Hijrah, when Rasulullah now had a peace of mind, he is no longer fighting the Quraysh, because in the 6th year, a year before that, there was Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, and as I mentioned earlier, the agreement of having sulh between the Muslims in Medina and the Quraysh in Mecca. that gave Rasul a chance to propagate Islam properly and even to do jihad to other segments because he secured that the Quraysh will not really fight him. Therefore, he heard that the Yahud in Khaybar were planning to attack Al-Madinah to attack them. And Rasul, his tactic always is you be aggressive in a way that you don't wait for an enemy to come to your town, but if you have known that he's preparing, you go for him. And this is what he did with Bani Mustaliq when we talked about Sayyidina Juwayriyah, one of the wives of the Prophet, that the Prophet went to find Bani Mustaliq because he learned and he sent an informant and found out that they were planning to attack the Muslims, therefore he attacked them. So it's the same issue of Khaybar. Khaybar was a well-entrenched city with very strong fortresses. So it was quite a difficult battle to win. And the Rasul tried with quite a number of black bearers, Abu Bakr and others. And one of the days he said he will give a flag to somebody whom he loves, Allah and Allah loves him. And all the Sahaba, they love Allah and Allah loves them. But that was to show the significance of that individual, and that's Ali radiallahu anhu bin Abi Talib, who had a lot of good qualities, just like the other three Khulafa or the other 10 al-Ashra al-Mubashsharuna bil Jannah. So Ali radiallahu anhu, when he went, he got the victory and they defeated the people of Khaybar. Now, as they were defeated, of course, they were prisoners of war, both male and female. And among the prisoners of war, the female one was Sophia bint Huyay bin Akhtab. Huyay bin Akhtab, I will also talk about him later when we finish the story, was the leader of Bani Nadir and was somebody who was hating the Prophet so much, as I'm going to explain later. And it just shows why Sophia had a soft spot for Islam, for the reason we will know later. So when she was taken as a prisoner of war, she came to the Prophet, just like other prisoners, and the Prophet first she was escorted with another cousin of hers by Bilal and went through the battleground where there were a lot of the Khaybar people, the Jews who have been killed. And so Rasul got annoyed and told Bilal, have you lost some kindness that you are passing these two ladies in among the dead people who have been killed from their community? Well, definitely Bilal did not realize that, and the situation was difficult, and they were taking prisoners of war and all that, and perhaps as a man he has been through that battle, he did not have time to think about what would happen and all that. So Rasulullah, as all the prisoners, when they come, usually they ransom themselves. And Rasul asked her whether she will agree to be married by the Prophet ﷺ, and Sophia was very, very much ready, because initially, before Kinana, his husband, was killed in this battle of Khaybar. One time, just 2, 3, 4 months before the battle, she saw a dream that the moon came and just dropped in her place in her house room and in her laps, and explained that dream to Kinana. And Kinana got annoyed and slapped her and said, you want to be married by the king of the Arabs, that's Muhammad, because he was, these are people of Ahlul Kitab, and they were very familiar with a lot of things by then. And specifically the Jews, as I said, because messages of Allah have been coming right through to them, through their communities. So when Rasul proposed that, she was very ready, and her mahar or dowry was actually that the Prophet will free her. It's as if she will pay for the ransom and then get married for her. So the Prophet ﷺ got married to Sophia, And then, when the battle was over, they moved to Medina, and it is said the Prophet ﷺ did not like immediately this new individual and the wife to go to his place, but he went with her to a friend of his called Haritha ibn Nu'man and left her there for a while to sort out some things. Perhaps also not give them a very big surprise, they say. Now, as he left her there, a lot of Muhajirin wives, when they heard about it, as it is usual, the women like to see who is this wife that the Prophet ﷺ got married to. And Sophia was, as they say, a very beautiful lady, a very pious, later we will see. And she was still quite young. She was actually 17 years by then. Al-Waqidi and Sinan al-Aslami, somebody is reporting that an interesting thing also. She said this lady went to see Sophia, and there realized there were 4 wives of the Prophet ﷺ putting on the car, not to be known, but just try to find out who is this Sophia and who is this wife. There was Zainab and the Jahsh and Hafsa, the daughter of Umar ibn Khattab, and Aisha, and Juwayriya. Then Zainab started asking Juwayriya and said, this will be a challenge, because she looks beautiful, and she may take quite a bit of love from the Prophet ﷺ. They worried on their own. And Juwayriya said, this community usually, I don't think she will be like that. In other words, as if it's Ashwarika, she may not be that conducive and taking very good care of the husband, something like that. Now, apparently, of course, as I mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ noticed Aisha also going there, and noticed she's coming out, and then the Prophet ﷺ went and asked her something. Maybe this is an element of joking. It may not look that okay for Aisha, but it's to reduce her jealousy. So Rasulullah ﷺ asked her, what do you say about her? How do you see that thing? She said, رأيتها يهودية. I saw her to be a Jew. Then the Prophet said, don't say that. She has already accepted Islam, and أحسنت بإسلامها. She is a good Muslim. So anyway, these are some of the interactions and the element of talking between wife and husband in an element which is an easy way to reduce the element of jealousy. Hafsa, at one time, according to Islamic tradition, anointed Sophia and told her that she is actually a Jew, showing that we others are Arabs and this and that, and you are a bit foreign. And one day, when the Rasul came, she saw Sophia crying. And when he asked her, she said that Hafsa told me this. And the Rasul told her, if she tells you that, you tell them that you are the wife of a Nabi, and your uncle is a Nabi, Nabi Musa, and your father you are from Harun, so you are also full of Anbiya. As I said, Bani Israel, majority of the Anbiya came from Bani Israel. There's no argument about that. They had a very big share, it is there in the Quran and all that. So anyway, from there on, after learning that, they were no longer able to teach her on the issue of her origin. And in fact, in the same instance, Rasul told the Hafsa, when he met her, Ittaqillah, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, don't talk about these things. Sophia lived a very religious life, very devoted to her religion, and died in 50 Hijri, during the time of Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan as a Khalifa. Now, the Muslim Ibar, what lesson do we get out of this? One is that, as it is shown, this religion encompasses everybody. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam took as one of his wives somebody from Israel, so that somebody will not feel that they are alienated, they are not included. And the Rasul tried very hard to bring in the Bani Israel, the Jews, in the Medina. But as I said, the majority of them were adamant, just because it is not from Muhammad, is not from their ethnic group. There is a story of the father of Sophia I promised I will give, and that is Huyay bin Akhtar, with his brother Aba Yasir bin Akhtar. And this story is being narrated by Sophia bint Huyay, and perhaps that is the reason why she was sympathetic and easily accepted to come to Islam. After, of course, his father has been killed and his husband has been killed. She says, Sophia, I was the favorite for my father, Huyay bin Akhtar, and my uncle, Aba Yasir. And whenever they come and I approach them, they will receive me other than any other children and laugh and play with me. But one day, when Rasulullah had already arrived in Quba, now that the Prophet, when he migrated from Mecca to Medina, he remained in Quba around 4 days, reached there on Monday, and went to Medina on Friday. So he remained there. So Huyay and his brother Aba Yasir left very early in the morning when it is very dark, they say in the hadith, to try and find out who is this Muhammad. Is he really the messenger of Allah? Because they knew it from Tawrat and other Holy Books. Or is he just claiming to a messenger? And he said they never came back until very late at night. And when they came, I approached them, and they were not enthusiastic, they didn't even pay any care to me. And they were so much tired and looking annoyed and moving so slowly. And then his uncle, Aba Yasir, asked Huyay, because it seems Huyay was much more learned, he said, Ahuwa, is he the one? Is he the messenger of Allah? Ahuwa? Said Qala, yes, he is the one. Said Qala, Ata'arifuhu wa tuthbitu? You know him and you can confirm that he's the one and you prove that? He said, Na'am. قال فما في نفسك معه? What are you planning to be? What is in your mind now? What will you do? What will be your reaction? Because the word said he's the one. قال عداوة والله ما بقيت. Just enmity as long as I remain. Now this is a hadith which is reported by Sophia, even though by then she would be a bit young, maybe around 10, because if during the Khaybar was 17 and the Prophet came around that time, 7 years before the Battle of Khaybar, it was 10, she could remember it. And then again, to finalize with another story of the same status, Abdullah bin Salam is a great Sahaba, Mubashar bil Jannah, and he's from Bani Israel. And he was able, he was a great scholar of Bani Israel. Remember, I mentioned this story, but it is his proper place here, if I'm repeating to some people. When Rasulullah came to Medina, he was also among the people who went to see. And when he saw him, he just realized, people have their own way of assessing things, especially a long time ago, that this face is not a face of a liar. And some other sign. And asked Rasul quite a number of questions, which, the way he responded, it proved to him that he's the messenger of Allah. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, I made the Shahada, Kalima, and accepted Islam. And he said, I want you to hide me and call the Jews here in Medina and ask them about me before they know I have accepted Islam. So he called them and he asked them, who is Abdullah bin Salam? He said, Alimuna, wa bin Alimina. They said the president. He's a great scholar, his father was a great scholar, this and that. And then he said, suppose you accept Islam. Said, well, there's no way you accept Islam. So the man came out and said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So he said, it's the worst of us and all that. So really, and he told them that you know the quality of the messenger and everything. And this was the thing even Umar sometimes would argue with them because Umar used to read so much the Torah. And he was telling them, you people know exactly that this is the messenger of Allah, but you don't just don't want to accept it. So this really is there to the majority of them. Of course, like any community, there are quite a number of people who have said that with the time of the Prophet, and later and even now. But usually the majority have that problem, and maybe they were thinking all the time the messages were coming from their community, why this time it should be somebody else. Inshallah, we'll stop there, and tomorrow talk about the last wife of the Prophet, the 11th one. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
بسم الله نحمده ونصلي وسلم على رسوله الكريم. Inshallah, today we're discussing the 10th wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is Sophia bint Huyay bin Akhtar. Sophia bint Huyay bin Akhtar is on the